10 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban.
I'm Loomis, and I'm going to be joined by Restalker, and this is
Radiant
the lower bracket
team
finals
pick.
between Mineski and Faceless. Mineski recently powered up by the addition of Mag. Of course, Faceless, we just watched them lose a best-of-3 series 2-0 to Clutch Gamers. In fact, I think both these teams have collectively been sent to the lower bracket by Clutch Gamer. So you could definitely say the argument is that Clutch Gamer is the team to beat.
Dire
but
team
for now,
pick.
Faceless versus Mineski. Who will move on? Stalker here.
Sorry about that. I was at my back. But I was just saying it looks like a Mineski
remaining.
First phase ban that
5 seconds remaining.
They haven't had too much success with it, but you know, all you need is one really good.
Dire team pick.
Mineski has been picking a lot of Kunkka themselves as well, but one hero that in common both these teams also really like to pick a lot is the Crystal Maiden. So it seems like I think the first pick actually will be dedicated to either CM or Kunkka. Should those hero or still remain in pool, but a little bit of deny pick here. We're going to see the Ninja Boogie Witch Doctor, but taking away from Nuts. This is actually one of Nuts' best hero back in the, what was it, TI5? TI4. When he was playing for MVP Phoenix. He was really good in here.
5 seconds remaining.
Crystal Maiden's just been coveted overall, I think.
Reserve time.
Program, she just a lot of spell spammage, safe lane. Pretty good overall. She can get back to Nyx Assassin and Witch. Definitely strong combination of. We saw that.
Yes.
And so we'll see if there's any wonky skill build.
Now, normally whenever I see a Nyx Assassin, I'm like, okay, you could pick yourself a Invoker and Sunstrike for a ton of kills, but Mushi is traditionally one of those mid players that never actually plays Invoker, which, unless he has changed his way, I think that's actually a big repertoire that you're missing. Like, this is strong drafting weapon that you could have. But
I remember, I think it was Winter saying time he doesn't play hotkey setup back in the
Legacy keys.
Yeah,
I get it.
10 seconds remaining.
Bit unfortunate that I haven't ever seen him play Invoker professionally. So yeah, I don't think. But a Treant's definitely good, especially.
Yep, and I think Treant is going to be pretty decent against Nyx Assassin overall, right? Because Nyx is going to be that gank factor, but Treant could kind of anti-gank across the map, if that actually makes sense.
5 seconds remaining.
And in terms of the counter to Treant Protector, I think both Darkseer and Ember Spirit, like any high damage over time spell that could break the living armor and still go strong is quite good. But those are the two heroes that either A, is not available because of the Darkseer ban, or B, Mineski simply just do not play. So
yeah, I was gonna say Batrider's also not only for and stuff, a particularly best hero. You actually able to kind of rather than feeding.
Team ban.
Actually, this could be still a support Nyx Assassin, so let's not count Batrider out just yet.
No, they've already banned.
Oh, yeah, true. Okay. You're right. I'm blind.
10
Assassin support. I
seconds
haven't seen that in
remaining.
a long time, actually. Hero is per level start. I think
5
if you get a late
seconds
level
remaining.
6, you. But I mean, you could.
Dire
A very
team
low
pick.
chance.
Okay.
So it's
Actually, Faces is banning a lot of these heroes that we've been mentioning. That is good against the living armor. So they're banking a lot on that. I mean, Mineski, if they want to go back to something random like a Jakiro or a
Radiant
Venomancer.
team pick.
But Venomancer at least is out of the picture. Mushi does play a mean mid Veno, but this game we're gonna see a Shadow Fiend instead. And yesterday when I was watching Mushi play, he would go for these like Shadow Fiend build that was very
10
reminiscent
seconds
to like
remaining.
the mech build back in the day. If you remember it was like
5
Dragonlance
seconds
into
remaining.
straight BKB, and his job was to win team fights and push. And then he would pick a harder
Reserve
carry
time.
for Jay or Raging Potato and allow him to be the ultimate late game carry. Yesterday he paired up Shadow Fiend plus Terrorblade a lot, but since Terrorblade is actually banned out by themselves, we'll see what is going to be.
Dire team
yeah, I'm actually
pick.
interested in what kind of item build he's gonna. But hard to tell right now because they have draft. But go for the Shadow Blade. You have insane roaming assassin. You know, sentries able to kind
10
of pressure the
seconds
map
remaining.
just all over.
5
secure kills.
seconds remaining.
So see if they run. You know,
Reserve
more.
time.
I'm almost certain it's going to be Dragonlance into an early BKB and then into an early Butterfly. It seems to be the build that Mushi champions the most and has the most success with. Depending on the last two pick, it definitely can change. I think this is where a Troll Warlord could also kind of fit into the strategy of the early push. Although, maybe against Tree and Protector, that might be a too all-in of a strategy, right? Faceless right now has 3 amazingly good defensive heroes.
Yeah, I think Troll's okay. Troll's one of those heroes that's really good against Abaddon, I think, for a safe. We saw in the last matchup between Troll gets a little bit ahead when he gets that for Abaddon, very safe laners.
Omni Knight.
2, 3.
Radiant team pick.
Position 4.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's a bit weird right now. His Omni Knight is one of those heroes.
Reserve time.
He's not, item dependent level. Works significantly with those items. We have, in the Western scene, that's a lot of like Midas that we see typically. I don't. That way.
Troll Warlord.
Yeah, Troll Warlord's actually gonna be.
Dire team ban.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Abaddon works extremely well with Troll
5
as well.
seconds remaining.
Stack that attacks.
Reserve time.
Also going to be a little bit difficult for Mineski to push right now. They're only tower hitter at the moment. Shadow Fiend, and when
Radiant team ban.
that you get a tower and I think a draft or maybe
10 seconds.
it's kind of hard because
remaining.
Lifestealer doesn't match up particularly too well against.
5 seconds remaining.
Lurk would have been good.
Reserve time. Radiant team pick.
See, they do have Omni Repel. If Omni's gonna be, I mean, they
10
could go.
seconds
Do the
remaining.
SCA teams play Naga? Naga is not They have a lot of
5
tools.
seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Alright, I will try to remember that. But who do you think Faceless is going to pick? Need a mid hero that matches up hard. They pretty easy, but it's more about the roam, right? Like which Octa roaming. Wow, I think this is a
Dire
mid
team
roll.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
It's a little
Reserve
strange.
time.
I think when you look at it on paper, teamfight looks really good, but it's not too good, I think, until the later. I think when Troll it's not going to be that good around like the. It's actually really good. Even against Omni Knight, is a Searing Arrow. So, not going to be able to rely on that.
Bristleback!
Yeah. Back what? So safe lane Bristle back here. Pretty good. I've seen a few safe lane Bristlebacks. I've seen backs. He's kind of just all. So yeah, it's going to be a fast Solar Crest on him. Solar Crest offense. Warlord. Mineski kind of wants to fight quite a bit. You know, they have heroes that like to go for that early aggression. It's like Shadow Fiend.
This is sort of similar to the lineup that Faceless ran earlier, right? With, I think, Ice on the Bristleback.
10 seconds remaining.
It was, what is it, Terrorblade? That was the designated power
5
hitter, and I think
seconds remaining.
Mushi is going to be that instead, with Bristleback sitting in the front. But of course, a little bit different. Safe lane Bristleback this time, but I gotta tell you, Raging Potato or Jay is one of the most aggressive player there is. And we've seen how that matchup went with Abaddon versus Bristleback, so Ice is gonna have his well, we'll see how he plays. I mean, he definitely won the matchup versus Rappy, but let's see if he can play the other half just as good.
Abaddon does not. Back in just kind of the nature. We'll see. Abaddon is mostly level dependent. Ice is known for, you know, the last game that we saw with him known for going in to secure the EXP, so we'll see if he's that playstyle again.
He also has living armor this time, right?
Yeah, that is true. So, you know, Witch Doctor is one of those heroes that you can, if you go in and get hit by like 200, you have to play a little bit more.
Alright, here we go. We got the lower bracket finals.
Prepare
Game
for
1 on the
battle.
way. Smoke is gonna break on both sides. Alright, let's think about rewarding in other spots. We got XY playing on the Treant Protector. Jabs on the Troll Warlord mid. Black, of course, playing the Clinks that he's so famously known for. Nuts on the Crystal Maiden. And that will leave Ice on the Abaddon. Me on the other side here, Adam, letting that Impale fly here on the Nyx Assassin. Giving that's a piece of his mind. Okay, are we gonna see a Repel being used? Yeah. Make sure nothing happens. Nice searing arrows. Ooh, that animation looks sick. We got Mushi, of course, on the Shadow Fiend. Ninja Boogie playing the Witch Doctor. And that will leave Jay playing the Bristleback up top.
30 seconds.
Early game
to
was
battle.
basically everyone smokes getting, everyone just running each other, so the wording may or may not be very obvious to both. I think they'll be. Yep, looks like both teams just kind of securing their after trading it.
Okay, Mineski wanting to go offensive actually.
I think they do come out ahead here. Doctor is one of the best.
The battle begins.
If you ever fight in the jungle area, you're landing tasks on hero.
Yep. I mean, they would have had a very good matchup against Abaddon in the lane, but I think they don't want to sacrifice Mag too much there. So instead, they're gonna try to go into the Klings. But to be fair, I think Klings is also okay with this particular lane setup, especially with Crystal Maiden dedicating herself into the jungle to get up that aura a little bit earlier on.
Yeah, I think the goal here for Mineski is to try to win as much as they can. Because if they did do the Bristleback against the Abaddon matchup, come out ahead and let. By doing switching it up a little bit, I think they're trying to win like something that you definitely want to do. Or Solar Crest.
Jab's very smart movement here. Does expect Adam to come in the back, so he moves up north. Will start to trade a couple of hits to build up that fervor stack. And Shadow Fiend, all he really needs is that first 2 waves of free farm. And he should be extremely self-sufficient for that.
Back in the days, we used like Ogre, Shadow Fiend, make that he's not able. Nyx on the Shadow Fiend side actually secure that creep wave. You said gets a couple.
Top lane, South was forced out. Abaddon almost died there to Mag's level 2 degen.
For the all-knowing one.
I think this lane is going to stabilize eventually. I think the problem with the Omni Knight is that. Oh shoot! Your overlay is messed up.
Nah, I fixed it. We get it.
Okay. Yeah, I think the Omni Knight, he's gonna kind of run out of mana. Hopefully he gets a Soul Ring and then be fine for the next.
Yeah, the other thing about the Omni is that he's out of tangles as well. I think Ice started with 2 sets. He's got the Crystal Maiden Aura to back him as well. It is
the Abaddon.
Yeah, sorry, the Abaddon has the Aura to back him. It is interesting to see that he actually took an early level into Mist Coil, and I think he was actually using a lot to get last.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Another thing to note is that he does have the Shrine, whereas Omni Knight.
True.
Happening there, I think, at least until Omni Knight gets solid region.
Right. Well, how's this bottom matchup going here? Both cores farming about the same.
I think they do have some kill potential on the Kling very early on if they go for something Dust with Doctor or.
Right.
Sure if there seems to be. As you said earlier, you want the Shadow Fiend at tower hitter. Sure that both him and back have a decent. You don't have to worry too getting kills. Just secure the farm and then you can.
Oh, good play here by Adam. Cancel out the smoke gang from the Crystal Maiden. They also have a sentry here, seeing how like Tree could actually hide in this spot and just walk down and start hitting you. So they do have that cover as well. So overall, Mushi is very well protected in the mid lane, and as a result, he is going to have a fairly decent farm. And also, I think he should be able to start bullying jabs out of the lane.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to bully him out. I think they'll at least trade farm. Jabs will probably farm under the tower. Both mid players going for a very early boost of speed, and I think that's kind of the game here. That they're safe.
Yeah, it seems like that's been the evolution of the mid lane as of recently, right? A lot of people have been skipping the bottle just to make sure that they don't die. And I mean, the runes are something that you can't guarantee either, because a lot of the supports have been nagging it as of late.
Yeah, I was gonna say sometimes you'll see things like double null talismans kind of win more. It's like a win more thing. It looks like Shadow Fiend's gonna finish off the Ring of Ignition.
Alright, Jay trying his best to farm this ancient stack that he made for himself. Is clearing it very quickly, but also expending his entire mana to do so.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about with the Ice Ice thing. Different for Ice Ice, dominating gets a little bit more.
Right.
He's actually going to be cleared Bad camp as well.
Well, he is going to be really out of mana. Has like 2 more Quill Spray left. Or 1 to be exact. And might drop the stacks on these Quill Sprays. It's going to be unfortunate.
Gonna have Ika.
Gonna right click it down. So that's gonna be almost a finished Vanguard after this, and of course Witch Doctor is sapping a little bit of experience meanwhile, so very efficient use of the jungle there.
What Quince is actually gonna build. There's a lot of paths that he can. Typically you'll see like an early Lightstone pickup, Solar Crest, or the Desolator. Not sure if he's gonna go popular. Sometimes go Hand of Midas on here. It's actually weird because I see Hand of Midas on heroes that like to fight.
Blessings.
Stealer, you'll see. Has that luxury.
No, I think Kling's a lot of your early game is about you
Radiant's middle
sneaking
tower
around,
is
forcing
under attack.
early tower kills, forcing early hero kills. If you use that Midas and delay your farm, or delay the fact that you're impacting the game, it hurts the heroes a lot in my opinion.
You see there's going to be a massive congregation. Basically every hero on the map.
Why? Nuts. Well, it's going to reveal his position. Casket only going to bounce once, but his tail will hit, and the raises will give Mushi the first blood. XY is the position, and now Raging Potato running past the tower with no care in the world. He cares a little bit.
Dire's middle
Yeah,
tower
that's just Crusader
is under
down. I
attack.
don't think they're going to be able to defend the tower.
Dire's structures
Respawns are pretty low, but it seems like the
Radiant's
Abaddon
bottom
and
tower
are
is
content.
under
This pushing
attack.
mid looks like they just spawn.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They easy pick off, and looks like they make the potential kill onto the Abaddon here.
Actually, Mushi missing one of his raises. I think he might die here as a result. XY is going to get right click down as well. Mushi finally goes down to the mist coil. There is a Maledict onto Ice Ice Ice. Ice 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 ultimate has triggered, and he will go down trying to deny himself, but instead, very unfortunate. Raging Potato says, I'm the only one alive, so yeah, I'm going to just keep on right clicking some creeps.
That was a little unfortunate for Mushi. I think they did definitely come out there. Actually, it's hard to say if they definitely came out. You know, Troll was just got farm move. I'd say a small advantage for me. Bristleback is one of those heroes that benefits kind of the fighter. So it's gonna allow them to perk. That being said, jabs.
This is interesting. Now, Shadow Fiend ports bottom again. And he spends
Radiant's
pretty much
top
his
tower
entire,
is
or
under
a couple of
attack.
bottle charges for Jay. I guess they really dedicated into pushing down this tower. Adam's gonna go mid to soak that experience, but like you mentioned, Jab had free farm now for like 3-4 minutes straight.
Yeah, I think the reason they're doing this is because they want to make sure they're pressuring the bottom. They don't want Abaddon running around. Porting in, it means that he's not working toward items. So, and the thing about Klinks is he's very weak at the
Middle
moment.
tower is under attack.
That being said, they're trying to sneak around and get a kill.
Mushi sees a tree coming from the left side, and that's both gonna jam him in as well. Triple Razors will come out. I think Mushi's gonna be surrounded. Mushi will go down. They will take one down, or at least try to do so. Maledict will hit a couple of heroes, but that living armor will keep him alive. Adam's gonna go down to black as well. Fight looking pretty good so far. They probably will lose Jab on the way out. Jab is trying to farm before he dies. But, okay. I think that's a trade you'll take here with your Faceless.
Yeah, you definitely will. They get the experience
Dire's
onto...
top tower is under attack.
Experience is gonna... They get the experience onto the Troll. I think that was a slight misplay from the Nyx assassin. Should have stunned the Troll here, I think. Or the... But it's a pretty decent trade. Definitely favorable for Faceless and...
Spike the shield pop. Spike turns around, but the ult's gonna get used still. Adam will go down to yet another mist coil. Ice 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 does have the TP out, and honestly, he can just make it out very easily. He wants to waste more of their time. Yeah.
Last 2 or 3 minutes have not been perfect. Teleported bottom, did much farm, you know, protect, takes...
Dire's top
Goes to
tower
mid,
is
he
under
dies to
attack.
a... Stop and doesn't...
Yep. In terms of actual CS, he's even with the Troll Warlord, and well, the net worth, he's actually still sitting ahead, so looking okay.
That's one of those things that I always talk about, is that net worth is very relative, right? So if you play like
Radiant's
Shadow,
bottom
you
tower is
typically
under
want to
attack.
be a little bit, you know, at this stage of the game, 500, 600. Like he's having a massive event. Okay.
G-Man gank up top did get turned around by a good usage of the Spike Carapace as well as a purification, but doesn't change the fact that it's going to be Faceless that's crushing a lot of these early game towers. Abaddon looking really strong without even the Vlads completed, but Bristleback on the other side of the map trying to do the same thing. This is where Living Armor is helpful, at least to slow down the push and make the rest of Mineski commit more time. Lushi rotates again here, which I don't dislike seeing a Shadow Fiend rotating early, but I feel like his economy could be a lot better than it currently is.
Because that's the thing. It looks decent, you know, he's at 4,400. You have to think about it. Abaddon's also at the same net worth, so when Abaddon is about the same net worth as a Shadow Fiend, it probably, you know, indicative of some things, you know. But, you know, Shadow Fiend is a flash farmer. Pressuring top, he has position spot.
Dire's top tower.
So I go into the very standard max nature skies, so you could actually be invis and walk around much faster. There's no way they could kill Jay, right? But they could kill.
Might get the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, Witch Doctor is gonna cast, put out the Maledict, one more red click's gonna get the kill.
And that's the strength of Doctor is one of those, you know, if you have a hero like Rubik, you have the instant lift. If you throw out the cast, you're going to eat by the time he's done.
Right.
Bristleback might be going down. That's him in the air.
Does have the Vanguard. Fairly tanky, but XY will be...
Perhaps. There's... both just, you know, kind of...
I am surprised by the fact that Shadow Fiend is trying to go for a Shadow Blade. As I mentioned, oh, actually, did he sell it? No, yeah, he bought the parts to the Silver Edge, and then it's like, okay, never mind.
Realize that there isn't too much map apart from Crystal Maiden.
Right.
Dire's structures
I think Dragonlance is definitely the right choice, and we saw earlier, if Shadow Fiend is tanky, you can further augment that with assistance. So in this case, you know, last time the Shadow on and OD kind of asked further build upon.
Go for my armor.
Every time I look at over Jay, he's farming formation stacks.
Yeah, that.
Right. Seems like all of the Bristleback players are just in agreement with the build. It's just Solo Crest and Vanguard, and sometimes you add a hood depending, you know, what kind of situation you're in.
It's like the Forda from like.
Oh, the Glimmer Cape when it first got introduced.
Yes. But Bristleback's playing aggressive here. There are a lot of Radiant arrows running up.
Yeah.
Take him down. Insanely tanky.
Well, they drop a couple of slows. I think you mentioned earlier when we were casting another Bristleback. What's out here? Bottom lane, Black. Guardian Angel is going to keep everyone alive. Black's going to go down, and now it's going to be Jabs perhaps in a lot of trouble. Trying to run away, but DJ Hora making him look silly. The raises will come through Lushi, completing the 3 fire raises.
That was just Eski insisting that they sent 3 heroes so back in here. It's probably not going to do too.
Nope.
Just recognize that this has 2 core heroes.
Sentry
Pretty
Ward
significant.
will get dropped on top of the mid lane, but Mag,
come in handy.
not enough firepower to take down the True
Radiant's
Protector.
bottom tower is under attack.
If Mineski rotated a little bit faster, they might have. Or they still might be able to. It's be a little bit harder now, though.
Radiant structures are fortified.
I don't know. Jay doesn't care. It sits in the front line, tanks up everything, allowing you to the right place to back. They're going to initiate on Raging Potato, but they have the purification. Where is it? The purification does come through. So is the repel. Ice ports in. Does have his ultimate available. Will finally pop it. Good retreat here. Crystal made an ultimate, just a zoner. Power will get denied. So, pretty much just a a support def for a tower denial, which is not that bad.
Pretty decent. It might have been a slightly different fight if Tree was ultimate off there. He got the bash off onto the bristleback there, but he...
Dire's top tower is under attack.
I think they'll take the trade.
Guess what Jay's doing?
Stacks. He is... Man, this is what you do. With the new camp system where it only spawns on every up, stacking is important, so it's very, you know, just been on their A game. Kudos to them for recognizing it, and he has the solar crest.
He is neck and neck with the Shadow Fiend when it comes to net worth, and if the theory of relativity applies here, he is insanely farmed.
Is a hero that if he's up there with your Shadow Fiend,
yeah.
Something I'm trying to think about here is who has a better positioning. Like, it seems like it is in favor of Mineski here. They have a little bit better. The person that is going to be down in
and they can take out
Waltz in there.
Yeah, they can take out Roche much faster as well. They have a solar crest, allowing Mushi to do extra damage. Looks like it's a overclock back into the Shadow Flame. Mushi evading all of us. Yeah. The casual overclock, something that we've seen him
bottom shrine.
Mag. He's repelled out of a overclock.
Is under
Walk it
attack.
off.
Pretty good. They let Shadow Fiend get that entire solo EXP.
Interesting. That's the captain saying, "Get out, guys." I want solo XP. Ooh, maybe you could go for a solo kill. Yeah, I don't think they know about the Shadow Blade just yet. Jab. Ooh, actually that's
Slightly off to the side.
Yeah, and he actually missed one of the raises as well. I think if he hit it, he might have gotten the kill before he truly could have reacted.
I think Mushi could have waited a little. A troll doesn't hear the wait fast next out of his vendetta.
I think his
Jumping
blade
the gun
was
a little
running
bit.
out.
Oh, was it? Okay, maybe.
Yeah. There's just pressure this time.
That is the reveal. It is going to make them play a little bit safer, but once again, I don't think they have Faceless, I should say. Don't have too much of an issue at a Fiend. It's going to make them group up a little bit more. They're going to smoke into our jungle here.
Oh, Dust is gonna fly out again. Adam always on point with these Dust. It was pretty easy when you had a smoke pop and react pretty much.
Yeah, they had the observer ward there as well.
Yep.
Really nice ward vision here. Typically I say heroes that go invisible are economy busters, but when you get the kills...
I have to say, this is the first game in recent memory in like a couple of years where Black's Clinks has not taken over the game by now. And I think that largely that's attributed to the fact that, XY breaks out of Invis. Oh, do not walk next to the trees, but he will go into Invis very quickly. But yeah, I think it really is attributed to the fact that Mineski did put up that trialing against him and was able to keep ganking him repeatedly.
Yeah, I think that was actually really...
Radiant's bottom tower.
I said earlier, it was a little bit... It's that trade-off. They could completely set out the Abaddon. At the same time, I think they would get some farm on the Ugly Knight. Like doing that switch up, they make the Abaddon have a slightly better time.
Right. And now Mineski is threatening high ground. You gotta come back and defend. And I mean, you have living armor, but living armor.
This is actually on Bristle.
Okay. Well, no doubt that Jay is gonna be looking to stand in the front line to draw some attention. Top lane, Ice, pushing the wave into the tier 3. So he's probably better off just hitting that tower a little bit up top.
So probably are going to lose here at the very least. They don't get a lot of damage, but Ice on that top tower. It looks like this is actually not working.
Okay, letting the Rec Room lose, and Mushi is gonna just be here. Ice is gonna just kill him. Okay, thanks for it. So now he's gonna keep pushing. The Overgrowth will miss on cancel out the TP. Ice don't want to stay low but too long, given the fact that he doesn't have access into his ult anymore. Okay, just kidding. He's staying right here, right in front of the building.
he had the intel because his team was still chasing.
Right.
That's for me.
Gonna hang around a little bit, but I don't think he's gonna. Bit too ice. There's a limit. Everyone has a limit.
Ice has done more damage to the tier 3 than the entirety of Mineski has to the base. Of course, Trian is healing it up as we speak, so...
Yeah, so I'm not too sure what's going to happen here. It looks like Troll's actually going to go back for a beacon rather than finish his dungeon job. Pretty understandable considering the insane amount of...
My arrows.
Next target's going to be tier 1 bottom on the dart.
Pretty big swing, given that I think Mineski was very vastly in the lead before that point.
I think they thought they were a little bit more stronger than they actually were. We'll have to worry about the tree and the crystal maiden boss fights. Trying to push up that high ground. But they do get out, they still have the Aegis.
Are you surprised by the fact that Bristleback has the Aegis and not Shadowfiend? I don't know if Bristleback will even die here.
Yeah, I think at the very least, if he does die, the thing is, you have these, once again, talking about all these tools, you have the Witch Doctor, you have the Nyx Assassin, that can kind of, excuse me, you have the Knight that can help that kind of stay up there in the... Whereas I think Shadowfiend's more of a hero.
Right.
A little interesting. I think both.
Alright, Mushi Shadowblade into BKB. This is the build that he loves to do, what?
Back one for the...
That's still coming up next, so it's like standard stuff.
Yeah, the thing is, after Quince gets the Deso, I think he becomes better at like those situations where your team's kind of 4-man, they're kind of they have good heroes to do that. You know, you can always kind of hide around with heroes like.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Meanwhile, Clinks is going to be
Dire's
able to get these towers. So, see how they kind of deviate from the play.
Are they trying to kill him? Even if they hit a full Requiem, he pops ult and just like, okay.
Only way they would kill him. And you just kill them before it's off.
Is it even possible? Because I know they
I'm not sure with Shadowfiend how it works with Shadow.
Right, Shadowfiend I believe like each soul flies out does its individual damage, right? So I'm not sure if it's
I think it is like that, yeah. Now you can kill TA through.
Right. Oh, power goes down, Mag will pick it up. Now on the back line here it's gonna be a Witch Doctor picking up the Crystal Maiden, letting Nuts taste it a little bit here against the Witch Doctor.
Yeah, that seems to be the case, but here's Ice Man. He just saw 4 heroes up here. He's like, I don't care. Just gonna farm.
Got relics in actually. I think Abaddon again is one of those heroes that could take over the game, especially with the battle trance from Troll Warlord.
Yeah, I think that's a really great point to make. That you can have, once again, you can do that 4 heroes running around, and you can have Quinks kind of split pushing downtown. Abaddon is one of the best heroes at forcing opponents to stay on hit.
Right.
At the same time, you can also fight with them. They have a lot of options on.
Man. I don't know how Adam has been able to just dust. I guess this ward saw the tree coming in, and then they know he's around the area. Maybe they scanned on top, didn't catch it, but he's been perfect. Every time he pops a dust, he gets a kill.
He has his Blink Dagger now if you want.
I feel like this is a Midas.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I don't think it's a Blink Dagger aim. They do have decent kill potential. Game can go multiple different ways. I think Midas is the safe route for guarantee farm, and because you know Nyx Assassin is where to push. Right. Team Faceless, they have a really might want to be working. Gotta get another. Just random. Shadow Fiend looks like they're all just going to be hanging around the Shadow Fiend here. Structure opting to go for a Ghost Scepter very early on. Fantastic item against. Looks like both teams have come to. Roshan is going to be spawning. Definitely don't want to.
Yeah, the diffuser blade normally is like made in preparations for Ghost Scepter or Use or whatever that comes out. But this game, just the extra added damage is going to be very, very viable.
This is a got going on. Both teams, I think they have relatively similar strength. Both have the ability to keep their cores alive for a decent amount. I think a little bit better in the solo pickoff department, whereas Mineski works out ahead here. Looks like both teams angling for the. They have good.
Alright, Radiance is online here for Ice. He could even be more betrayed than he has.
He's got that. He's got a whole bunch of.
Yeah. Raging's gone for AC, which ironically is an item that you don't see too often in Bristleback, at least not this early. I think Bristleback normally goes for it as a 4th or 5th item, but once he has AC and the Shiva's finish, my god, he's going to be so tanky.
Wouldn't be too surprised to see relatively late Silver Edge coming out.
Right.
Somehow deal with that. He has a lot of items as well. Hit the Bristleback, he's gonna need it. I think they're trying to go on the Bristleback here, but probably not.
Well, Overgrowth's gonna get committed here. He's turning around. Guardian Angel's not gonna be popped on him, but the repel will be, and he walks back out. A lot of spells being committed on both sides. 0 kill whatsoever. The Shrine is gonna bring Raging Potato back up. Yep, they're gonna say, look, they're gonna try to de-ward a ward. XY is working so hard for that de-ward, and instead of just go inside the Roshan pit. Not the play that I think Faceless was expecting.
They're gonna get it probably before anything happens. I'm gonna say, I think.
BKB coming in from the Troll Warlord now. Ghost Scepter, like you mentioned, coming out as well. On the back line, though, Treant goes down to Jay. Jay does not care that he's tanking all of Black's damage. He's got the Aegis, he's got the Solar Crest, so he's just in the front line, okay? Nice 2-kill here by Jabs. Jabs going for a little bit more Mushi, popping the BKB, popping the Reckless as well, and now he also goes down. It's Jay against the world right now, against all 3 cores, and I don't think he's able to run away, with, especially with Abaddon sticking on him like that. Jay, oh my god, the war also goes down. Jabs went very low, and so did Abaddon, but they just ignored Black completely. The whole fight, he just stood there and strafed away. I'm not sure if that was the winning play
there. I think what happened was Mushi went out to push like a couple creeps. I think if he didn't show himself, because he broke the smoke to auto attack up, so it would have been much cleaner with these two. There's gonna be a buyback coming out here. To be successful, we have things kind of just pelting away at power from the bottom 50 high ground.
First about trying to keep some people near his base so Zeros could respawn and fight them, but they all just make it out there. They got themselves a very key buyback on the Bristleback, and all of a sudden he is not second net worth anymore.
He's kind of plummeted down. You know, he is hanging around there, but he's a problem. Oh, I think it's down to Mineski. Get a couple more key items onto the SF. It's got a MKB. Casual Talisman of it. Pretty sure he's gonna finish. Don't think.
I mean, there is a lot of miss from the truck, so I could get behind the.
There's also the Solar Crest, supposedly.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm a little bit worried about his survivability to begin with.
Yeah, harkening back to that, he does have the Omni Knight. He does. So I think he can land some clutch impact. Opting for a little bit more of an offensive build rather than defense. This is a game where you a little bit of pressure on your opponent. Not going to get a. Once again, going bad. Clinks Abaddon. Good at taking down towers. Getting a couple kills there, able to take. have to be careful.
Alright. Scouting done by XY. Crystal Maiden on the left side is going to get initiated by the Blink Dagger of Adam. So, now we talked about the Hanamitis, but definitely paying off for that quick kill there. They're looking to get a little bit more. Ice running towards his shrine.
I'll dig that.
Mineski will not look for the chase.
Casually turn. I'm not too.
Want to see that glow? What it looks like when you're going Super Saiyan.
That's all they have right at the moment. Targets, apart from the Crystal Maiden, are pretty hard to take down now, I think.
Yep.
I think this is one of those moments I was talking about where you want like a little bit of a breather. Get those items on your Shadow Fiend, make sure you're going to finish the MKV, finish the 100 more gold. Perhaps afterward.
That is one of the innate dangers of getting an early BKB. When the game slows down like this, BKB is not an item that will help you farm.
Got Omni Knight's farm. Like he's gone for based items rather than. He's gonna transition into Evan's Hoblet. It looks like Sanj Kuda. Probably gonna imagine. Pretty good against.
Darius Gan finds out a group of heroes behind the river. And they're gonna send Jay in the front line. He is by far the hardest to kill and can make some counter plays.
It's actually gonna be. It's like Faceless is. Safe and sound.
Yep, as I mentioned from earlier, Diffusal Blade good against those pesky ghosts up there that are starting to come out from Witch Doctor or whatnot.
Thing to note is that for the viewer, no longer actually put off for a problem.
Yep.
But you can put off the GA. Good, we're gonna see Mineski
This
up
will come in
and
handy.
There's when you run into Invis hero like live. You know, which is actually notified. Wrap around. It's gonna be a Troll Warlord and Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden blinks out. Or sorry, Troll Router blinks out. Crystal Maiden. What?
oh,
Don't juke yourself, Adam. Just go for the stun. Alright.
that was a little bit of overthinking it, but get the kill indeed. Once again, you know, time and time again, we can say probably gonna be the dying. Not the end of the world. Relatively decent. They're able to kind of space just.
33 minutes, less than 33 kills.
A relatively tame game, but I think there's been a lot of aggression. It's just, I think both teams are doing a pretty good job of.
Right, there.
Been a lot of fights. It's not like it's been a.
Yeah.
Radiant's top tower
There has
is
been a
under
lot of
attack.
interesting strategical positioning and stuff like that too. Moving away
Radiant
to dodge
structures
ganks or
are fortified.
good pushing, that sort of thing.
Shadow Fiend's actually kind of damage. A little bit about half, but you know, this is what we talked about. The Treant Protector is just going to start healing that up. So if you're not able to take towers in one go, it's going to be very annoying for Team Mineski to get these towers.
Remember, it was only 10 minutes ago when Mineski was trying to high ground and they brought the tower down to like, I don't know, 25% health. Of course, Treant has healed it up since then, but that's just a sign of Mineski's early lead and they were unable to really capitalize on it.
That whole exchange was a little. Mushi ended up porting top, trying to stop Ice solo dying. Let's have a DD here. We'll see if you go for the top again.
Okay, Nyx is gonna see everyone coming in, XY as well as Jabs moving relatively fast. And now Blink. Abaddon's the one they focus on. Or maybe a little bit of tree here. Oh my god, what an overgrowth with the Blink Dagger, but immediate BKB. They kill the tree in, and now Jabs being focused by Mushi. Mushi with the right click there, doing a ton of damage now. It's going to be Crystal Maiden being forced to pounce away on the backline. Mag, the defensive force staff, he's going to go down. Black has a double kill. And now they're going to focus here on the front line. It's going to be Abaddon getting bashed here by Raging Potato, was it? Or I'm not sure exactly what a stun was. Maybe it was just a casket. It seemed like it was a casket. Oh, I see. And Mushi, when it's all said and done, an ultra kill.
Excellent usage of Solar Crest through that.
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Stellar. They Solar Crest the target, immediately right click. You know, that's what you mentioned earlier. You get that, so you get that assault KRS, you get that guard, and you're just gonna be able to stand there. You're able to get a pretty handed victory here, and the towers probably cannot go high ground. Maybe it'll little bit.
Radiant's middle tower.
I'm surprised that they're not hitting the building a bit to. Oh, actually,
I think it's they have trees.
Yeah. That's the reason why they don't really go for it.
They definitely would have chipped it.
Yeah. I think that last particular team fight, how it actually started for Faceless, is the reason why we both thought during the drafting stage that the team fight wasn't that good. They hit a 5-man overgrowth. But what did that actually set up? You're not setting up any other AoE, right? Crystal Maiden was a little bit too far away to drop her spells on top of the 5-man overgrowth. So that overgrowth, a lot of that stun on some of the heroes actually meant nothing, right? Like Tro wasn't focused on them, Wings wasn't focusing on them, so...
Exactly what we mentioned. So I think that's going to be a little bit different, of course, if this game kind of goes the same pace. Then once the Clinks and Troll get maybe top tier item here significantly. So until then, they probably just farm up a little more items. You know, Troll has some items, but just kind of stand straight on their time.
Both teams dancing. Yep. Jab's got the blink out. He will have to be forced to hold that.
That's the thing about the Abaddon as well. You have to be very careful playing this hero because if you go in and they pop your ultimate, you kind of have to start running away at that point. And
right.
If they're able to kill you on the retreat, team loses their front line. After Abaddon went down, they just, you know, it was just picking. You know, wanted. Frost Nova just, it's just gonna. Both teams know that it's a lead up now.
Well, bot waves is pushed in, so somebody on Faceless has to go back and support and defend. But Truan could, I guess, heal it up for a little bit, so they have some time.
Gonna have to wait for that entire wave.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, Faceless is in a little bit of a predicament here. I think they're a little bit disheartened because of how the last fight went.
Right.
Radiant's bottom tower.
If they didn't have that last fight, they're gonna go immediately on the here.
Gonna get found here. Can he actually drop off his ult before he dies? No. No ult there. Ninja on the back line is gonna get focused. Diffusal Blade will break the Ghost Scepter. The Bashes will come through. Crystal Maiden ultimate inside the pin. Very good position to actually isolate Raging Potato. Where's his team? There is no team. Critically, where was Mag? Mag was really forced away. Guardian Angel was not cast. Now, buyback from Raging Potato. They're going to try to actually take down Roshan. In the meantime, it's going down very, very fast. Jazz applying the battle drives, and that's the reason why they want to team fight these as well. Can they actually make a successful retreat? Raging Potato goes in. Look at this HP. He's down to about half 50 instantly. Guardian Angel's going to come out. Where's the lockdown on him? There is no lockdown. Great stun here from Adam, though. They're going to try to take down Jazz, but Guardian Angel is running down very fast. Now, it's going to be Raging Potato perhaps dying a second time in a row. Mushi on the back line trying to KO Crystal Maiden, but Crystal Maiden is not worth it here as Jabs gives him the bash. Mushi goes down. That was a buyback onto the Bristleback, and now a death onto Mushi. I think in the span of the last not even 5 minutes, 3 minutes, Faceless might have just won the game.
At the very least, they've definitely created a lot.
Yep.
I'm not too sure. I was looking at Mushi's HP. Went from like 8,000 HP. Not 8,000. He went from like 1,000 HP to like 500, 400. In the span of like 0.0 seconds. I'm not too sure what happened to him. I think it might have been a disappearing arrow.
Yeah.
He dropped very quickly. I think he had a little. He felt like he had a little bit more support from Omni Knight. And it looks like Knight does have the Sage now, so... excuse me, the Halberd. Contributes a little. Offers some evasion himself, and once Arsenal down, and Schultz is at 7 seconds. Yeah. Kind of time, meanwhile, so pretty standard high ground push here.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Raging setting the front line here, trying to pull Black's attention away from his Raptors. Black?
He actually doesn't have buyback.
Yep, on the back line here, it's going to be linking back in, Jabs, creating space for the team here, and now he's going to switch over to the Vaxxers. Jabs going to take down the Vaxxers, and now he's constantly being healed up by a Treant, by the Aphotic Shield. The chase comes through with Raging Potato, but at what cost? As Mineski loses the first lane of the Vax in this game.
Ocean fight was too much in their favor. You know, if they lost maybe like 3 heroes and they're able to 5, I think somewhat, you know, salvageable. But the fact that did they lose any? I don't think they lost a single hero, did they?
No.
Because the Crystal Maiden escaped barely. They've taken down quite a few heroes and a couple buybacks, and now Mineski definitely on the back foot despite having a very... Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, right? After Troll gets some of his items, after the fight becomes a lot more potent when Tree gets those roots when drops the freezing.
Yep.
You have a lot more damage.
Faceless will continue to move on and mow down another outer tower, rather the last outer tower. I'm not exactly sure why Jabs, every time it seems he has a double damage, but he has one again. And they could go high ground, honestly, to take down the second lane of Rex.
They do have a lot of gold here. Hopefully they don't get, you know, too overzealous, spend that money if they...
My just reward.
Abaddon's actually went back and got an Aghanim set. Going to be take a lot of the damage, so that's another that kind of makes Shadow Fiend some of the AoE damage coming out.
Right. Well, here comes the smoke gang from Mineski. Just feels almost like a desperate attempt. Oh, the blink stun will miss. Ice, ice, ice. Rather, Nuts will force that away. And will the Shiva clip in? No, Nuts is just moving too fast with that Tranquil, who turns around with the Nova. Now she's fine. Is there going to be any punish here on the high ground? Black hits himself, looking for the extra range, force that back up onto the high ground, and now Jabs going in here. Rectum is going to get channeled by inside the tree lines here. And now it's going to be a defensive fight on the back line. XY ready to use that Overgrowth. Overgrowth does come out, lagging over on top of that Guardian Angel. Somehow Guardian Angel unit still dies pretty much instantaneously. They get the bash on Mushi. Mushi's going to go down to tree. XY trades his life for it. I think that's going to be work. And now it's going to be Raging Potato, Perma Bash, Perma Purge. And he does go down as well. That's a dieback. And that's GG. Mushi calls.
Fantastically fought by Team Faceless. Throw Jabs in there, they know he has the Aegis. He doesn't even loot. Actually comes up to fight. And yeah, they kind of just swept it away with that one motion. How the game tends to go when you get a fight like that. And excellently played by Faceless to claw their way back. They weren't that far behind, but not getting too disheartened with that initial